We're interviewing Margaret O'Brien today, legendary Oscar-winning child actress who is back in Culver City, and we're so happy to have you here, Margaret.
Well, it's wonderful to be here in Culver City. I haven't been here for a while. You know, Los Angeles is so big that we kind of stick to our certain areas, so it's been a few years since I've been here, and it's really changed. All the little restaurants and the hotel all restored, the old hotel, famous one here, that I'm going to come back and try all the restaurants and have lunch and sit in the outdoor umbrellas and go to the hotel and have lunch. So this will be a fun place to come to.
Well, we're happy that you're here to see all of the redevelopment that has taken place.
It's changed quite a bit since
What do you
I was
remember
a
of Culver City when you were here?
Well, I remember Culver City was a lot grayer looking. I remember the buildings all looked gray to me as a little girl. But the hotel was still there, very famous. And when I would be in school at the studio, my mother and Dean Stockwell's mother and Butch Jenkins' mother, they'd go over to the hotel and have lunch because they knew while we were in school we weren't going to get into any trouble, so they would have lunch at the hotel. And now it's been restored and so beautiful again that I want to be the one to have lunch there because I didn't have a chance as a little girl because I was in school. But Culver City was, of course, where I worked for many years at MGM and was very good to me.
What was it like being a child star?
Well, I loved it. I mean, I wanted to work. I loved working. And of course, today I ran into the lady who was my stand-in. So many people have asked me, well, did you miss your childhood and did you miss other little children? It's kind of windy in Culver City. I keep moving my hair here.
That's the ocean breeze that Harry Culver planned for us to have.
That's right. But I always had another little girl on the set with me, and she would be my stand-in. And when I was in school, she would stand so they could do the lighting under the lights. And they wanted someone who looks similar to me. And then she'd go to school and I would do my acting role. And then when we were finished with school, then we had a chance to play between scenes when we weren't in a scene. So yes, there was another child on the lot and on the set always with me who was my same age. So I was never deprived of having a companion and a friend my age. So it was wonderful.
And the young woman who was your stand-in that you saw today was Maureen, as I recall.
That's right. That's right. And she was in, about 4 or 5 of my pictures. So we became very good friends, and then we were friends, out of the studio, too. We do Halloween together, which was one of our favorite parts of the year. We always loved Halloween. So we would go Halloweening, and it was wonderful to see her again. It's been several years that I had seen her, and it was great fun today.
On the studio lot at MGM, there's a building that has a Spanish style, and I believe that was the schoolhouse. Did you go to school there?
Yes. Well, actually, when I wasn't filming, I had more of a private tutor because I was working so much at the studio. That I would go into the schoolhouse at recess time. And because they were all different ages. There might be somebody there that was 18, and somebody in the 1st grade, somebody in the 12th grade. So there was all different ages at the school. Butch Jenkins and Dean Stockwell were close to my age. But they were boys and they didn't want to play with me. They wanted to play the baseball or the football. So they weren't really companions to me on the lot, but my stand-in always was. So it was, I had a good time and I loved it. And I loved school. You had to get very good grades. You had to get A's, or the school teacher would take you out of the studio and working in pictures. So you had to keep up with your studies.
Do you remember the leadership of the studio at the time?
Well, that was Louis B. Mayer, of course. There were several leaders, Dory Sherry, Louis B. Mayer. My mother dealt mostly with Louis B. Mayer.
Do you remember him at all?
He was really nice to me. He could be tough, though. especially if you ask for a raise and money, which my mother did when I made Meet Me in St. Louis. And then he could cry better than I could. When you asked for money, he would get very dramatic. But my mother didn't pay any attention and said, well, we'll go our own way then. And she was very smart, and he broke down and gave me the higher salary. So that's what I remember of Louis B. Mayer. But he was always nice to me, and he always came through for my mother. I think he had a bit of a crush on her, to be truthful. So that kind of helped. She didn't on him, though.
What was your favorite movie that you
I
acted
loved
in?
all the books that I did. Of course, one of my favorite was Meet Me in St. Louis, because I loved working with Judy Garland, and that was a fun movie to be on. But I loved also the books, Jane Eyre, Secret Garden, Little Women. You know, what child could play the character in her favorite book? So that was a wonderful experience, and something I'll always remember.
Well, we're delighted to have you here.
Well,
today.
thank you, and I think this is a wonderful day to have, and the restoration of film and bringing back Culver City, because it's a historical place. It's a historical part of Los Angeles, Southern California. So I'm so glad that they're restoring it and putting in these wonderful restaurants and restoring the hotel and the studio here that you were able to take a tour, because I think that's very important.